Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Today is April 3rd. The Yankees pitching has been unreal. The Marlins have been unreal. Let's talk about it. Hello, everybody. My name is Steven. This is the middle of the order. How are we doing today, ladies and gentlemen? We've got our second series recap of the year. Yes, that's right, baseball. We're getting into the full swing of things. We're getting back into the business just a little bit. Full disclosure with you guys, the recording of this is actually being done the day before on Thursday, because today, when you're hearing this, when the episode is live, Friday, that is my birthday. I am going out of town, so I will not have my equipment with me, so I will not be able to record normally. So this is in advance, but the schedule is in my favor because there was only 3 games on Thursday anyways, and 2 of those are part of a 4-game series for Monday's episode, so I'm only really missing out on 1 game, which we'll go over anyways on the Monday episode, but that's the point. Let's focus on today's stuff and what was the baseball from this week, and we shall start with our series recap. Starting things off, the Rockies and the Blue Jays. The Jays out-homer the Rockies 4-2, but a starting pitcher injury leads the worst team, blowing out the defending AL champs as the Rockies take a 14-5 victory. Every Blue Jay records at least 1 hit as Scherzer shoves in his first start of the year as Blue Jays even it up with a 5-1 win. And the Jays offense went quiet in the last game as the Rockies find a way to tie the game late and score in extras while holding the Jays, as the Rockies upset the Blue Jays in this series, taking 2 of 3 with a 2-1 win in the 10th inning. Rangers and Oilers. Now Bassett struggles in his Oilers debut. Jake Berger picks up 2 RBIs as the Rangers take a 5-2 win. Pete Alonso homers in his first game of his first Oilers home run. The Rangers, though, they get the big hits. Danny Jansen, a 3-run home run. Corey Seager, a solo shot late. They take an 8-5 win. And then in the last game, it's the Young O's, Samuel Basallo and Dylan Beavers, both getting their first home runs of the year. Part of an 8-3 Oilers win to avoid the sweep as Texas takes 2 of 3. Twins and Royals, Kyle Isbell and Isaac Collins both going deep for the first time this year. Those 2 homers were all of Kansas City's runs, and it was enough in a 3-1 win against the Twins. Jonathan India in Game 2 hit a grand slam, which made it 12-1 Royals. The Twins, though, give them credit, they came back with 8 runs in the last 3 innings, but still end up falling short in a 13-9 Royals win. And this third game is the one that's on Thursday, so we will be talking about it on Monday. But regardless, the Royals win this series either by a sweep or from 2-1. The Yankees and Mariners, it's a low-scoring game. In the 9th, it's 1-1, and it's Cal Raleigh is the hero. He's been cold, but a walk-off single to right fielder Aaron Judge, his MVP counterpart last year, should feel good for him in a 2-1 Mariners win. But here come the Yankees as they score 2 in the first and add 3 in the 6th. Max Fried shoves once again in a 5-0 Yankees win. Paul Goldschmidt hits a 3-run home run, his first of the year. Ben Rice also getting his first home run of the year in a 5-3 Yankees win. They've been very good. Red Sox and Astros. Jose Altuve, how about a 2-homer game for him? He's joined alongside by Yordan Alvarez and Bryce Matthews as the Astros hit 4 homers in an 8-1 win. Yordan Alvarez, he homers in back-to-back games, and Cam Smith joins him for his first homer of the year in a 9-2 Astros win. And how about Carlos Correa, a 3-run home run off of Garrett Crochet as the Astros get Crochet for 4 earned runs. Christian Vasquez also homers for the Astros. Shout out Wilyer Abreu with his 3rd of the year, and Roman Anthony getting his first of the year to make it a close game. But still, the Astros hold on to a 6-4 victory and the sweep over the Boston Red Sox. The A's and the Braves. Now the Braves ride a 3-run first. The A's, they get shut out, they can't score, and they're 0-4 to start the year, but no worries as Shea Langoliers banks his 4th home run of the season. Andy Ibanez, Jacob Wilson both pick up 2 RBIs each in a 5-2 A's win to get them on the win column in 2026. The rubber match would fall the Braves' way despite Langeliers taking the lead in home runs with his 5th already on the season. Shout out Drake Baldwin though, 2 for 3 and 4 RBIs for him in a 5-1 Braves win, taking 2 of 3. Nationals and Phillies. Now the Nationals continued their hot start with 4 runs in both the 1st and 9th as they get 13 runs on 17 hits without a home run. 7 Nationals with 2+ hits in this one in a 13-2 win. Andrew Painter shoves in his MLB debut, picking up 8 Ks as Schwarber homers, as well as Adolphus Garcia, his first home run as a Philly in a 3-2 Phillies win. The Phillies came back from down 4 in this rubber match. JT Realmuto and Bryce Harper both homer to make it closer. And then Edmundo Sosa ties the game in the 9th with a 2 RBI single. We headed to the 10th inning for extras, and it's the young kid, Justin Crawford. He walks it off for the Phillies in the 10th with a single for the win. 6-5 Philly, taking 2 of 3 from the Nationals. White Sox and Marlins. How about Austin Hayes, a 3-run homer, his first of the year. Miguel Vargas, a grand slam, his first of the year. The White Sox hand the Marlins their first loss of 2026 with a 9-4 win. But here come the fish as the Marlins scored 9 unanswered runs, including 4 runs in the 4th, and it capped off with a Griffin Conine home run in the 8th inning, part of a 9-2 Marlins win. And in that rubber match, Liam Hicks hits his 3rd home run of the season. Otto Lopez gets his first as Sandy turns back the clock for a complete game shutout in his 2nd start this year in a 10-0 Marlins win. They take 2 of 3 from the White Sox. Mets and Cardinals. Despite Bichette's sluggish start to the season, he picks up 2 RBIs to help the Mets to a 4-2 victory in this one. The Cardinals pitching, led by Palante, shut out the Mets, while Ramon Urias hits his first home run for the Cardinals in a 3-0 win. And in the red match, Juan Soto picks up his first home run for the Mets this season. The Cardinals tie it though. We head to extras, and in the 11th inning, Mason Wynn walks it off on a bloop single that just lands in right field. Cardinals take a 2-1 victory and take 2 of 3 from the Mets. Angels and Cubs. Now Ian Happ hits his 3rd home run as Edward Cabrera looks good in his Cubs debut, part of a 7-2 victory. Logan O'Hoppe, a 2-run single for the only runs in this game, part of a 2-0 Angels victory. And for the road match, Cubs ride a 5-run 3rd inning throughout this game as Matthew Boyd racks up 10 Ks in his first win of the season. 6-2 Cubs, they take 2 of 3. Rays and Brewers. Yandy Diaz, Johnny DeLuca, they both go deep for the Rays, part of a 3-2 victory. The Brewers score 6 unanswered, with 3 of them against Shane McClanahan, who was pitching in his first game since August of 2023. So happy to see him back despite taking the loss in this game as Bowers and Sanchez both homered late in a 6-2 Brewers win. And for that rubber match, Bryce Terang, his 2nd home run of the season. And tied up at 2, the Brewers score 6 in the 8th to take a lead and put it away in an 8-2 Brewers victory, taking 2 of 3 from Tampa Bay. Pirates and the Reds. Now the Reds and Pirates had a nice little duel between Braxton Ashcraft and Chase Burns in this one. The Reds scored 2 in the 4th, and that's all she wrote in this one. A 2-0 Reds win in the opener. But here come the Buccos, Ryan O'Hearn, Brian Reynolds, and how about O'Neal Cruz with 2 homers for the Pirates. Eddie De La Cruz and Sal Stewart homer for the Reds. But the Pirates take an 8-3 victory, and that wasn't their only 8-3 victory, as they scored again 8-3 the final in Game 3. O'Neal Cruz and Brian Reynolds back-to-back games with a home run. They had a 1-run lead in the 9th before scoring 4 runs, including that Reynolds home run. 8-3 the final. Pirates take 2 of 3. Giants and Padres. Now the Giants and Harrison Bader, he hits his first home run as a Giant. Jax Merrill, his first homer of the season, was a 2-run shot in the 9th, but it was too late as the Giants' 3 runs were enough in a 3-2 Giants win. Willy Adames hits a leadoff home run to start Game 2. Matt Chapman also goes deep in this one. The Giants with a 9-3 victory. They look for the sweep but cannot find it. Down 2. The Padres add 4 important insurance runs in the 8th, including a 2-run shot from Ramon Laureano for a 7-1 Padres win to avoid the sweep. Guardians and Dodgers now. Parker Messick puts together a nice start while the Guardians add 3 in the 7th to put it away in a 4-2 victory. In Game 2, Max Muncy homers in Ohtani's first start of the year, where he only allows 1 hit through 6 innings. Part of a 4-1 Dodgers win. And in the rematch, Gabriel Arias homers for the first of the year for the Guardians. Jose Ramirez, a 2-run shot, his first of the year. Freeman would also hit a solo shot for his first of the year for the Guardians. And Gavin Williams beat the Dodgers and Yoshinobu Yamamoto 4-1 the final there, taking 2 of 3. And lastly, we have the Tigers and the Diamondbacks. Corbin Carroll, a 3-run home run. The Diamondbacks score 8 unanswered in this one. The Tigers proceed to score 6 in the 7th, but it was too little too late as they lose Verlander's first start with Tigers back in action, 9-6 Arizona. The Tigers scored 5 in the 3rd, but the Diamondbacks showed them what a comeback really is with 6 runs in the 8th, including a 2-homer day from Jose Fernandez. He is the hero in this one. Diamondbacks march back 7-5 the final, and in that last game, it's Zach Gallen versus Tarek Skubal, and it's Corbin Carroll hitting his 2nd home run in the 1st inning. And that was the only run in this game as Gallen brought his A stuff for Skubal and the Tigers, as the Diamondbacks get a sweep over the Tigers, 1-0 the final for your series recap. Hey, how about that? Much shorter than on Friday over here. Let's get the game of the week going on here. We're taking you to Arizona for the Tigers and Diamondbacks game here. Game 2, Casey Mize versus Brandon Pfaadt, top 3rd. This is where the Tigers score 5 runs. Jake Rogers, an RBI double, followed by Kevin McGonigal, who's been tearing it up this week. He picks up an RBI single. Riley Green then drives in 2 with a double, followed by Kerry Carpenter with an RBI single. So nice little rally there for the Tigers, has them up 5. Bottom 4, we say hello to Jose Fernandez as he hits his first ever major league home run here. He debuted this year so far. 7 at-bats, he's got 3 hits. We'll talk about that as it continues on here because he has another big hit in this game. But his first major league home run makes it 5-1. It stays that way all the way up until the bottom of the 8th, where the Diamondbacks have something brewing. They're down 4. They're running out of outs. Corbin Carroll drives in 2 with an RBI double. That's how that 8th inning gets underway. But they're still down 2. Well, they would be down 2 if that rally did not continue. Gabriel Moreno then would ground out for the first out of the inning. That scores a run. It's a 1-run game. But up steps Jose Fernandez with 2 runners on, blasts his 2nd home run of the day, his 2nd home run of his major league career. And all of a sudden, from 5-1, it is now 7-5 Arizona as they score 6 runs in the 8th. Seawold comes in, gets the save. Arizona a 7-5 victory. That is your game of the week, and a very good one at that. So let's get into the baseball news from the week here. We've got 3 teams that are 5-1, the Marlins, Brewers, and Yankees. 3 teams that are 1-5, the White Sox, Red Sox, and the Athletics. Those are the hot teams. Those are the cold teams. And one team that I'm taking a shocking look at here is the New York Yankees. And if I'm being honest, they have been an interesting start to the season in the best way possible for them. Their pitching has been very, very good. Shockingly, kind of for me. I mean, without Garrett Cole and Carlos Rodon, I said something similar last year. The pitching staff just needs to be okay until guys return. They had injuries last year as well in the rotation. And, Max Fried, he's been a bona fide ace before. He's been one with Braves. And even last year, he was a big part for the Yankees. so far this year, he's been incredible, and it's not just him. It's really been the whole team. Cam Schlittler has been dominant as well. I mean, through 11 and 2/3, he's only given up 3 hits with 15 strikeouts. No walks, no runs, nothing. He's been great. Max Fried, same thing, 13 and a third innings, 5 hits. Does have 2 walks, but 10 strikeouts. He's been pretty good. Um, yeah, and then again, I'm just kind of shocked right now because of how impressive the Yankees pitching has been. You go in that bullpen, Tim Hill, 3 and a third, no runs yet. David Bednar, 3 and a third, has 1 earned run. Will Warren, another one of their starters, 4 and a third, 1 earned run. Um, Across the board here, I mean, they've given up what in their first 5 games, 3 runs. Mariners picked up 3 against them on Wednesday to make it at 9. But yeah, I mean, it's been a very surprising start. And if they can keep that up when you get into the middle of the season, when you get Carlos Rodon back, when you get Garrett Cole back, if Cam Schlittler and Max Fried can stay at the pace that they're on, which has been an incredible start to the season, you now are mixing Cole and Rodon. That is an elite 4. That is a rotation that, is top 5 in baseball. And, bullpen, you got to ask questions, how well do they pick it up? So far, I mean, the worst one was Camille Doval had a tough outing. He had 2 earned runs in 3 innings so far across 4 games. So that's been the rocky boat here. No one else besides Doval has given up more than 1 earned run. So again, a very impressive start for the Yankees. If they can keep this up, I mean, the sky is the limit for them in the AL East. They could really start to run away with this thing. Speaking of the limit here and sky's the limit and all this stuff, let's talk about the Miami Marlins a little bit here because I've been going on and on about how this AL East is the best division in baseball and all this impressive stuff. So far, the NL East has been very surprising. And that's because of the Marlins and Nationals, really. The two teams that I was saying, fourth and fifth, maybe Miami can shout for a third. Both of them have been off to great starts, but specifically Miami, 5-1. And listen, I know they played the Rockies and the White Sox, 2 teams that aren't, eye-poppingly good teams. Their real test will eventually start when they actually start to play some real contenders. For example, this weekend they have the Yankees, so I'm very curious on how that series goes. But Liam Hicks, he's got 12 RBIs. He's leading the way in RBIs right now. He's got 3 homers. Owen Casey with 8 RBIs. He's got a 350 average, 7 hits, including 2 doubles and a homer. He's been great. Otto Lopez picked up a homer. He's got a triple on the season already. Like, you go through this list here, Xavier Edwards, 9 hits, leads the way for Miami at the moment. Javier Senhoa with 7 hits. Obviously there are some guys who are still, struggling into the season here. Herberto Hernandez, Graham Pauley, Connor Norby, haven't had, big moments yet, but there's been some big hits for them. They've got a couple of runs on, all this stuff. Jacob Marcy struck out 7 times already. So there are players that, need to pick it up here, but there's a top half here that's been really surprising me from Miami. And that's just their offense. I mean, their pitching. Sandy Alcantara, with a complete game shutout. We're not even a week into the season. And bro put up 9 innings, complete game shutout. Absolutely insane so far. Across 16 innings, 7 hits, 12 strikeouts, no earned runs. He's been brilliant. Across the board here, a lot of Miami's pitching has been very good, outside of one really tough start, which was against, obviously, the White Sox. Chris Paddock gave up 8 runs in 4 innings, including that Miguel Vargas grand slam, the Austin Hayes 3-run home run. Pete Fairbanks, in 3 games, 3 innings, has 1 hit, 5 strikeouts, and 2 saves to his name already. He's been a very good pickup early on here. Obviously, the rotation needs to kind of bear down a little bit more. Max Meyer in his start gave up 3 runs in 5 innings. But, there's pieces here from Miami that you can kind of talk yourself into, hey, I know it's only 6 days, and I know they've played the White Sox and Rockies only, but they're 5-1. Owen Casey looks like he's the real deal here. I mean, this might be a trade where, we go back with Edward Cabrera for the Cubs and Owen Casey now for the Marlins. We might look back at this trade 5, 10 years from now and think, wow, Owen Casey became one of the best players in baseball. He's a dog, man. He's looked very good early on here. A lot to like here if you're Miami. Go into that ballpark, eh? Sandy Alcantara after that complete game, said, although the fans aren't here, we know where they are, and we're playing for you guys, etc. But show up to Lone Depot, man. Marlins are playing some good brand of baseball early on here. You don't want to miss that, to say the least. Let's move on here. Talk about CB Bucknor, because he has been kind of one of the biggest stories of the season. I mean, we are a week into the season here. We just started April, and CB Bucknor, we can say, has had the worst year of his life and is the worst year for baseball. I mean, it's been a very tough showing for CB Bucknor early on here. It all started the first weekend of the year, of course, just a couple days ago. His first game behind the dish between the Boston and the Reds series. He was bad. I mean, if you used ABS for every wrong call that CB made, we almost had 20 plus calls that could have been overturned in this game. Between the Reds and Red Sox, they were 6 for 8 on ABS challenges, specifically the hitters. But I mean, there were some really bad calls. He was, just tough look. Then, and I mean, this is the more wow moment. Over the week here against with Rays and Brewers, where he was at first base, and Jake Bauers was running out a ground ball. Rays second baseman threw it to first, and ball was misled, got a wild throw away from him. And Bauers steps on first base. The Rays, bring it back. No call is made by CB Bucknor. And eventually the Brewers the Rays run over and, tag the runner with the ball. And CB calls him out. And the place just is shocked. From everyone, whether you're an outfielder, an infielder, whether you're playing, or you're a fan, you're a coach, doesn't matter who you are, the announcers, everyone was like, what are you talking about? He claims that Bauers did not step on first base. Brewers, of course, thankfully had a challenge. They used the challenge on the call, and the replay shows that not only did Bauers step on the base, he almost stepped exactly in the middle of the base. The quickest challenge I've ever seen. They put on the headset and within 5 seconds took off the headset to say that he was safe. Don't know what he was doing. The camera then cuts to Kevin Cash, the Rays manager. He's laughing. He's smirking. The camera pans over now to Pat Murphy, the Brewers manager. He's having a chuckle. I mean, it just is mind-boggling how CB Bucknor missed this. Which then brings us to Wednesday's game, where he's now back behind the plate. And early in this game, foul ball hits him square in the mask, in the middle of his mask head. He goes down and ends up having to leave that game with an injury of some sort there. Probably just for safety reasons to begin with. Because, I mean, yes, he's up there in age and everything, but, if he's sober and normal and is making all these bad calls, imagine when he just took a ball to the mask, maybe concussed, and then trying to make calls. I mean, that would have been a very ugly game, you'd have to think. So yeah, this week has not been CB Bucknor's week. Not sure if ABS is going to what's going to happen with CB Bucknor at the end of this year at this point. I mean, a lot of people are talking about him. He's had a very tough week, and it was only right that I also kind of gave some 2 cents on the CB Bucknor situation here. Let's talk quickly about some extensions here, because the Brewers and Mariners handed out some of their prospects extensions. Cooper Pratt, shortstop in the Milwaukee Brewers organization, received an 8-year, $50.75 million extension, including 2 club options for 2034 and 35, while the Mariners extended Colt Emerson, who was their 22nd overall pick back in 2023, He gets an 8 years, $95 million extension, including a club option for 2034 that would be worth $25 million. And these were shocking moves at the time, but it kind of opened me up to a bigger question here, which is, are we going to be seeing a lot more of these young prospects and kids get extensions from different teams this season because of the looming CBA, talks and the lockout that will be brewing at the end of 2026? Of course, we don't want to be talking about this stuff yet, because of course we still have a very exciting baseball season to get through before we get to the scary stuff of when we'll play baseball next afterwards. But I have to think that that's playing some sort of role into these decisions. It's only the two, both are, shortstop, middle infielder type of beats here. So you got to wonder if that's playing a part. I mean, Colt Emerson here, you look at his minor league numbers here, 228 games, 255 hits. He's got 23 homers, 130 RBIs, a 287 batting average, and an 840 OPS. Cooper Pratt, on the other hand, across his minor league years, 231 games, has 220 hits, 16 home runs, a 261 batting average, and a 730 OPS. So nothing that's that eye-popping. Of course, these aren't they're lengthy extensions, but not for a lot of money. I mean, 8 years, $50 million, 8 years, $95 million. Of course, Colt Emerson seems to be the more major league talent here. It's the Mariners' number one prospect in their organization. So yeah, the question then becomes the CBA stuff. Does that play a factor? How big of a factor? Is it just the Brewers and Mariners here? Are we going to see other teams doing it, like maybe the White Sox, maybe the Marlins, maybe the Athletics, etc.? Maybe we'll see some bigger spenders, like the Phillies or, the Yankees try to do something similar. So there are definitely questions there about the extensions. Either way, those two kids got paid this week and will be getting paid for those 8 years here. Let's move on now. Injury updates, getting into the meat of the stuff here. Carlos Estevez, the Royals relief pitcher, ends up on the 15-day IL with a foot contusion. Zach Eflin from Baltimore ends up on the 15-day IL with elbow discomfort. And big one here for me, Cody Ponce ends up on the 15-day IL with a sprained knee. He was in his first game back in the majors since 2021, pitching for the Blue Jays against the Rockies on Monday before he kind of hyperextended his foot, left in the third inning, and that was the game where the Rockies proceed to blow out the Blue Jays with 14 runs. It doesn't help when your starting pitcher goes down in the third inning. Hopefully, speedy recoveries for all these guys. The Ponce injury seems to be a little bit more serious, but we still have to wait and see for sure. Going on now to outstanding performances from the week here. A handful of guys, including Edward Cabrera, who goes 6 innings, a hit, no earned runs, a walk, 5 Ks in his Cubs debut. Lance McCullers Jr., healthy, and on the first Astros opening day roster since, I believe, 2022 or 23. He goes 7 innings, 4 hits, an earned run, a walk, and 9 Ks. Landon Rope from the Giants, 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 2 walks, and 7 Ks. Luis Castillo starts his Mariner year off with 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 2 walks, and 7 Ks. How about Michael Soroka in his Diamondbacks debut? 5 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts, including an immaculate inning, 9 strikes, 3 strikeouts. Good stuff from Soroka there. Andrew Painter from the Phillies in his major league debut goes 5 1/3, 4 hits, an earned run, a walk, and 8 strikeouts, left to a standing ovation from the Philly faithful. Max Fried, 7 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, and 6 Ks. I've talked about how good he was. Hunter Brown against the Red Sox, 6 innings, a hit, a run, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts. Shohei Ohtani on the mound for the first time in 2026, 6 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 3 walks, and 6 Ks. Kevin Gausman, 6 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, no walks, and 10 Ks. Kevin Gausman is the first pitcher since the 1900s essentially, to go 2 starts, the first 2 starts of the season, with 10 plus Ks in both of them without a walk. He's been brilliant to start the year. as has been Cam Schlittler, 6 1/3, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, and 7 strikeouts. Nick Pivetta, 5 innings, a hit, no runs, 2 walks, and 8 Ks. Gavin Williams against the Dodgers, he was brilliant. 7 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 3 walks, and 10 Ks. That is very impressive against a very good Dodger team. But of course, the most impressive here, Sandy Alcantara, 9 innings, 3 hits, no runs, no walks, 7 strikeouts in a complete game shutout. His second start of the year. Absolute brilliant. Good stuff all the way around here. As we move on now to our first stat leaderboard of 2026, going things. Let's look over the top leaders of baseball as it stands. Leading in average, Joey Weimer from the Nationals as a 588. He's been a hit machine to start the year for the Nationals, but he does not lead in hits. It's Yandy Diaz with 12 hits. That is the leader there. For home runs, Shea Langeliers has already bopped 5 home runs in just 6 games. He's been great. RBIs, I mentioned how good Liam Hicks has been. He's picked up 12 RBIs for the Marlins. Part of the reason why they have 5 wins on the year already. For runs, we have a double Astro tie. Jose Altuve and Yordan Alvarez both have 8 runs in the young season. They lead the way there. So good to see Mike Trout healthy and leading a category. He's already picked up 10 walks on the year, leads the way there. Stolen bases, David Hamilton, Nico Horner, and Jake McCarthy in a 3-way tie, all with 4 stolen bases. And for OPS, it is not Aaron Judge. It is Joey Weimer as leading in average. He also has a 1.741 OPS. Has been very good for the Nats to lead the way here. For starting pitchers, we've got, of course, a 7-way tie for wins. Jose Soriano, Max Fried, Chris Sale, Sandy Alcantara, Trevor Rogers, Cam Schlittler, and Aaron Ashby all have 2 wins already on the young season. For ERA, I believe it's a 13-way tie. Sandy Alcantara, Edwin Cabrera, Bryce Elder, Max Fried, Mitch Keller, Seth Lugo, Michael McGreevy, Shohei Ohtani, Landon Rope, Cam Schlittler, Jose Soriano, Randy Vasquez, and Michael Wacha. Those are your 13 qualified leaders in ERA, all with, of course, 0. No runs given up there. Strikeouts, it's Kevin Gausman that leads the way. 21 strikeouts across his 2 games. And then for saves, it's David Bednar from the Yankees with 3 saves already. Good stuff all the way around. Those are your stat leaders, the first one of 2026. And we move on now to taking a look at this weekend and the upcoming series. The Padres are in Boston to take on the Red Sox. The Marlins will face the Yankees. Both these teams are 5-1. That is the series to watch for sure. Rays in Minnesota to take on the Twins. Blue Jays at White Sox. Cardinals at Tigers. Brewers at Royals. Cubs at Guardians. Reds at Rangers. Astros at A's. Mariners at Angels. Dodgers at Nationals. Oilers at Pirates, Mets at Giants, Phillies at Rockies, and Braves at D-backs. A few of these teams going for their home opener as well, still have yet to have a homestand. And that brings us to the final part of today's episode. Of course, it is our playoff predictor, the first one of 2026. And we'll talk about things here. If the season ended today, in the first day, the first 2 or 3 days here in April here, even though it doesn't, and we have to go all the way up to October, but if it did, who would win the World Series? Well, in the AL, the Guardians in the 6 seed would take on the Royals in the 3 seed, while the Rangers in the 5 seed would take on the Blue Jays in the 4 seed. I would have the Royals and Blue Jays both winning and moving on to the ALDS, where the Royals would face the 2-seeded Astros, and the Blue Jays would face the 1-seeded Yankees. And going off of last year, I'd have the Blue Jays beating the Yankees, while the Astros would beat the Royals. So the ALCS matchup would be the Blue Jays versus the Astros. And it's Houston that takes back their AL champions crown, and they head to another World Series. In the NL, we have a 7-way tie because 7 teams are 3-3 for that 6th seed. So I'm going to just send off the team that has the best run differential. Which of those 7 teams? It is the Nationals. So the Nationals get the 6th seed. They would face the Dodgers in the 3 seed, while the Braves in the 5 seed take on the Cardinals in the 4 seed. How about St. Louis early on here? Dodgers beat the Nationals, while the Braves beat the Cardinals. So the NLDS matchups are the Dodgers at the Marlins and the Braves at the Brewers, and there's no upsets here. It's the 1 and 2 seeds. The Brewers beat the Braves and the Marlins beat the Dodgers. They've been great. The NLCS matchup, your Marlins and your Brewers, and the Marlins beat the Brewers. They head to the World Series. It's a Houston and Miami World Series, and if there's one thing about Miami, they don't know how to lose in the World Series. Your Miami Marlins are your 2026 World Series champions if the season ended today. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for our episode here today. Much shorter, better series recap, all of the fun stuff. Looking forward to talking more baseball with you all come Monday. I want to thank you, everybody, so much for tuning in to this episode here today. If you're new, feel free to, subscribe to the podcast, whether you're listening on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Music. Like the video, comment. Let me know your thoughts on the season thus far. I always hoping to see some comments and talk with some of you guys here. So again, thank you, everybody, so much, and I will see you on Monday.